Welcome to Shellcast, the podcast that's a beach break for your ears. I'm your host, Jackie Parker, and I'm with the Lee County Visitor and Convention Bureau in promoting Fort Myers Island's beaches and neighborhoods. In this episode of Shellcast, we're doing a couple of things. First, we're celebrating the holiday season with the lighting of the lighthouse at Port Boca Grande Lighthouse on Gasparilla Island. The event is a fundraiser for Barrier Island Parks Society, also known as BIPS. And second, we're having conversations with the people in the community of Boca Grande to get an update on how recovery efforts are coming along since September 28th, when Hurricane Ian, a Category 4 hurricane, devastated parts of southwest Florida. Sharon McKenzie, she's the executive director of BIPS, and the lighting of the lighthouse just occurred. It just went right off. Everybody oohed and awed and counted down. Why is this event so important to the community of Boca Grande?
I think the event is so important. Well, first of all, it's always been the event that kicks off the holidays. So everybody comes down here, it kind of just starts the holiday, in action or rolling. But I also think that the community has a very deep love for the lighthouse, for both our lighthouses. And it's very special to them. It's part of our history, our very, very long history that a lot of people are not familiar with. And it's also just a great way for the community to come together. And this year with Ian and everything that everybody's been dealing with, we really need it more than ever. It's an open house, so people come and go. We have normally around 600 people at the event. We have a clicker. Somebody's actually doing counting tonight.
Well,
so.
It looks like 600.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And how many years has BIPS been doing this fundraiser?
So this annual event, it has been going on well before I started, and I started in 2006. So it's, I would say, close to 20 years, probably. Yeah, so it's been going on for a very long time. And we do have a little silent auction that's part of our fundraising, but it really has never been a big fundraiser for us. Our annual gala is usually our fundraiser. But this year, because of Ian, we're not able to have our green gala, so it's really right now we're like most people, we have no revenue coming in because of the hurricane. All our historic structures, all our revenue generating places are closed down right now. So this has become a revenue generator for us tonight, unplanned, but we're very happy. We really wanted to bring the community together. That really was our mess. The important thing for us tonight was really just to have this fellowship with all our friends and neighbors. And
so we've got a little Rick Astley going on behind us.
Yes, yeah.
But your organization, BIPS, they do more than with the lighthouse. There's other...
Right. So we're a very unique nonprofit. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. And what we do is we have actually 3 historic structures. So we have 2 lighthouses, Gasparilla Island Lighthouse and Port Boca Grande Lighthouse and Museum. We also have Amory Memorial Chapel. We also support 4 state parks. We are also chartered with the state as a citizen support organization. So we have we also support Don Pedro, Cayo Costa, Stump Pass Beach, and Gasparilla Island State Parks as well. So we're kind of spread out more, and we have 1 museum, but we're hoping to build another museum into Amory Memorial Chapel, but we've got flooding issues over there that we have to resolve. And
if visitors want to know more about BIPS, what's the website?
Our website is www.bips, B-I-P-S, it stands for Barrier Island Park Society.org. So www.bips.org, O-R-G.
And right now it's December 10th, and visitors are coming down, and they can come to the grounds of the lighthouse.
They can. Both our lighthouses, the grounds are open at both our lighthouses. The park is open from 8 a.m. to dusk. And so they are free to roam around. They just can't go into the structures. And right now we're keeping people off the stairs because if they were able to see in person, they would see all the damage that's been done that needs to be repaired yet. So, and we want to keep people safe. We want them to visit, but we want to keep them safe.
And that's the thing. And I think people understand that.
Right. I do too. I think people have been really good about that.
So the sun has finally gone down, and we're admiring the lights here, and we're not sure how many, but it looks like hundreds of strands of lights.
It's hundreds of strands. I would say thousands of lights, though. And, we might have to get our local island school to count the lights for us because we've never done that. But it is an amazing amount of lights that have to be strung up to light up the lighthouse.
And it's a volunteer effort that has been going on all week.
Yes, it has. So Mike and Tammy Kipp have been the primary force behind that volunteer effort because they've been working on all the lights and decorations and helping us with the tables and tents and stuff. We have this wonderful core of volunteers that we could not do the things we do without them. We literally could not run our events, our programs, our museum. We really rely on our volunteers, and we just feel really blessed to have all of them.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the volunteers. They make or break an event for sure. How long will the lights be up this holiday season?
We keep them up till after New Year's because we know a lot of people like to drive around and look at the holiday lights, and a lot of people go by boat. So if you are a boater and you want to go by boat, it's beautiful from the water.
Of course.
And it'll be up till New Year's, and then after New Year's we take them down.
It's fantastic. All right. Sharon, thank you for your time and happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy holidays to you and all your listeners.
I'm talking by phone with Gary Cross, the president of the Boca Grande Chamber of Commerce. He wasn't able to attend the event, but we wanted to talk to him to get his impression of how things are going in Boca Grande. And Gary, thanks for being on the call. Can you give our listeners an update on how Boca Grande is doing after Hurricane Ian?
Boca Grande took a pretty good hit, but I will say the force of nature has nothing on the force of a community that comes together. It was just right from the get. We had some guys from Lee County that came over, and they just got right on the ball and were like, hey, what do you guys need? And with the communication through all the locals and everything, we were able to get them the information, and it turned their 2-week stay into a 1-week stay. And now I would say, besides the homes that really took some damage and are going to need to be rebuilt, as far as the community, we have businesses most of the businesses are opening back up. The Gasparilla Inn is opening back up on the 15th, which they're a big draw for tourism in our area. So that's going to be huge for us. But I would say that everything's coming together quite swiftly. And
again, we're time-stamping these recovery podcasts that we're doing, and we're talking the evening of December 8th, and the hurricane was September 28th. So it's amazing how different pockets of Lee County have really come back.
Yeah. The crew that's down here picking up all the debris, those guys are just nonstop, 7 days a week. They were even cruising around on Thanksgiving and trying and doing their best to get everybody restored to normal, some sort of normalcy. So I know other areas were devastated even more, and my heart goes out to them. But it's good to see our community coming back. And, Boca Grande, like you said, is a special place, and we want to share it with people.
And what would you say to people who are listening in the Midwest, and it's cold there, and I hear the winter's supposed to be really cold? What would you say to them about making visits down here?
I would recommend, if you can make it and you can find a place to stay, come to the island. The businesses right now, obviously, most of them were shut down for a couple months, if not just a month, but November's a busy season for us, so we really didn't get our November. So we could definitely use the tourism. Come enjoy the island. I know people are curious and want to see what's going on out there, but support the local businesses, the restaurants, and the community, and that. Other than that, come on out and enjoy it.
And getting to Boca Grande, so Boca Grande is It's the very tip of Gasparilla Island, and it's north of everything else that's in Lee County. So when people are flying into RSW, how do you recommend that they get there? I mean, obviously by car. I mean, some people can go by boat if they want, but it takes a little while to get there. Yeah, you gotta want to be there to get there.
It does, and there's flights going into Punta Gorda as well and things like that. I would say, if you head over to our website, we do have a couple guys that do transports from like hotel to airport and vice versa.
Makes it a little easier for you.
Yeah, I'd recommend hopping on there and getting scheduled with those guys. And once again, they know the right way, and they get you there, and you can relax and just really enjoy your vacation and not have to worry about stressing and driving.
What's the website?
BocaGrandeChamber.com.
Okay, that sounds like a really great idea. Thank you for your time, Gary. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate you having me.
And have a Merry Christmas. Before the lighting of the lighthouse and after the event, I got the chance to talk to some visitors and some locals and volunteers, and I'd like to share with you what they have to say. So it's almost sunset on December 10th, and there's just sort of a sprinkling of people. There's probably about 30 people out here on the beach getting ready to watch the sunset, and we're coming up on the lighting of the lighthouse here at Port Boca Grande, and I'm talking to some folks who live just right up the road at Rotunda, Florida, Andrew and Brittany, and their last name I can't remember. Madison. How are things going?
We're here to watch the sunset and the lighting of the lighthouse for Christmas.
When was the last time you were at the beach?
We have not been to the beach since
probably late August. It's just with the storm and things like that. It's been taking a toll and trying to get cleaned up and, make sure everybody's all right and get, debris cleaned up and
before the
help
hurricane,
others. Yeah.
Yep.
How do you, in your opinion, how do you think things look? I mean, because this is really the only beach in Lee County that's open right now.
I think everybody's come together as a team and has really picked up and really helped out. This is a really great community and a lot of people have come together and helped shape things. We can always rebuild, especially with South Beach. I got completely demolished and a lot of people's homes, but everybody's coming together.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Well, thank you for your time and happy holidays.
Nice to meet you.
As well. Thank you.
Okay. Sue, where are you from?
We're from Fremont, Ohio.
And is this the first time you've been to the lighting of the lighthouse?
It's the first time we've ever been here. We have been at the lighthouse every year since we bought a place in Punta Gorda, but this is the first trip for the lighting, and this is awesome.
So you're a snowbird?
Yes, we're snowbirds. We're here about 5 months out of the year in Punta Gorda.
And how do you think recovery efforts look to you, what you've seen so far? How long have you been in town? Today's December 10th.
We flew in on the 7th. My husband's been back and forth for 2 months for repairs, but it's heartbreaking. But I know it'll bounce back. Everybody's ready to put whatever they can into it. Help's available. I'm just so excited. Especially something like this to go on amidst the problems. I mean, this has been unreal.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Great event. Thank you, Sue, and happy holidays.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I'm talking to a volunteer, Paul. What's your last name, Paul?
Townsend.
And where are you from?
I'm from Englewood.
How long have you been a docent here?
2 years.
So for listeners, this part of Lee County is sort of cut off from the rest of Lee County. It's just like the southern tip of Gasparilla
That's
Island.
Correct, yeah.
And to get here from, say, if you're coming into Fort Myers, if you're flying in, you have to actually go up through Charlotte County.
That's correct.
To get here.
That's correct. Yeah.
So it's kind of this little hidden gem.
It's a little. If you were to call the border a landmass, it would be a peninsula off the southern tip of the island.
Yeah.
Boca Grande, the town, is in Lee County, and the bridge is in Charlotte County. Mm-hmm. And the only way you can get to the island by way of a boat, but the land bridge was actually opened in 1957, and prior to that time, the only way you could get over here was by ferry or by railroad. Mm-hmm. And often, from the history books I've read, the residents would gather at the railway station to see who was getting off the train throughout that period of time. And it might be a Roosevelt, it may be a Rothschild, it may be who knows, but people began to understand them. And
it was real captains of industry real folks who were big deals.
In fact, a very interesting story I read about one day is one of the fellows who lives here, I can't remember his name, but he was Ian Fleming's model for Goldfinger.
Oh, wow.
And the reason that triggered it for Ian Fleming is because in Goldfinger, they actually fashioned a Rolls Royce from solid gold and then smuggled it over into a contraband area because and what this gentleman did, he owned many of the gold mines in South Africa, and in order to South Africans said, yeah, you can own gold mines, but you have to sell the gold to us, and it was never at market value. It was always at a lower rate. But there was a provision in the law that said if you're making relics, such as for a Catholic Church, crosses, chalices, that sort of thing, you can export that gold. So according to the story, what he did is he created a factory that manufactured those things, transported them to Europe under the aegis of that law, and melted them down over there, and then sold them at market value, which is very clever.
Yeah.
So Ian Fleming incorporated that story, and used it at that Goldfinger actually built. I think that the story says a Rolls Royce. It's been so long I can't remember, but he fashioned a car and then painted it and then had it sent over. So somebody may contradict me, somebody who's Ian Fleming or a Goldfinger fan, but
a good little story.
A good little story,
nonetheless. So, what kind of the damage up here was less than other areas?
Well, it was pretty significant, actually. But the lighthouse looks like it was sandblasted because it was sandblasted. So the winds come in excess of 125, 30 miles an hour. It picks up that beach and blows it up against the structure. So that's one of the reasons we're going to be closed for a while, because the structural integrity of the museum needs to be challenged by structural engineers and so on, and it needs to be fixed. So,
well, Paul, thank you for your time.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. Take care.
I'm Jackie Parker. Thank you very much for listening to Shellcast. And from everyone here at the Lee County VCB, we wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll catch you again in the new year.